Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Golden podcast where we have interviews with world-class TCM community leaders to discover the stories, habits, psychology, and secrets that led them to their success. We have the honor of being here with Michelle Grasek again today. Thanks for being on the show again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
It's awesome. I love you. I think you're great. So this will be a regular occurrence. I think you've got a lot of value to add. And today, last time we chatted, we talked a lot about you and what you're about and modern acupuncture and Michelle Grasek and your website and your courses. But one of your courses and specialties, which if you're not using Facebook ads and you want to use Facebook ads, or you are using Facebook ads and you're like, what the hell is going on here? I need some help. Michelle has a course on her site, and in the show notes, there will be links over to that. And there's going to be a quick reference. There should be a quick reference right below what you're watching that you can download that she created, 5 steps to making sure you're getting things right. And I encourage you to not, you could be wasting a lot of money. I know this for fact. From experience, and so to get some guidance, and especially from someone who's an acupuncturist and can really help tune you in, because every demographic is different, I assume. But so we're here today to talk about Facebook ads, and so Michelle, why and how acupuncturists, can you tell us how they can use it to get more patients or to grow their practice?
Absolutely. So in my mind, there are 3 different ways that you can really use Facebook ads. One of the methods I don't typically recommend, so the 3 different methods are: if you write a blog post on your website, for example, and you just want people, like more people, to see the blog post, you could boost the post that you put on Facebook, right? So this is the one I don't usually recommend, just because that increases views on your website, but maybe doesn't actually give you a method to collect information from people or to increase your revenue. Like, it doesn't necessarily bring you new patients. So the 2 methods that I do recommend with Facebook ads are either collecting people's email addresses, right? So that would be creating an ad that directs people to an opt-in form where they give you their email, and you maybe give them like a free download, like your top 10 natural ways to stay out of pain or something like that.
Right.
And the other method would be to create an ad where you're offering a discount and trying to get people to, go directly to your online schedule and make an appointment. Right. Okay. So those last 2 are the ones that I really recommend. I just think they're a better way to spend your money. So if you're going to spend money on ads. Yeah.
So a typical download, if I'm right, or something you want to give to patients for free in exchange for their email address so you can continue to create a relationship with them over email, would be just a simple kind of PDF cheat sheet or checklist or something on how to treat soreness or how to, make sure that you're not damaging your digestive system with certain foods or whatever it is. And so there's tools. How do you get an email and give, I understand, but just quickly for people, a couple tools that might be out there. Like I use Opt-in Monster and Infusionsoft, but
Yeah. So I use leadpages.net. Yeah. So Leadpages is probably really similar to Opt-in Monster, where you create just like a landing page explaining what it is, like what the PDF is that you're offering people, and they can insert their email, and it is sent directly to your email provider, like MailChimp or whoever you have. And then Leadpages actually delivers the PDF to their inbox, to their email. So they kind of care of everything.
Yeah, Leadpages is kind of the standard. I understand. It's great, and it's fairly affordable. So some people say the list building part. You might say, well, that's not a client, but that's you got to build a list, and often the value of a business is in its list size, and quality of its list. So, and the other is about converting patients. So that discount, like in the quick reference sheet you gave below, there's a discount in it if you download it for Michelle's Facebook ad course. So download that. But anyway, okay. So those two are great. So And we'll get into how to do those. But so what are things that people are doing wrong? Tell me, just example what I'm doing probably. I don't use Facebook ads for much, but what I would be doing probably and what's wrong with that.
It's stuff that I did wrong for like a long time, right? So I would say that the number one thing is not installing the Pixel. And the idea with the Pixel, so this is really basic stuff, and that's really what my course reflects is it's an introduction to Facebook ads, and it walks people through Ads Manager, because Ads Manager and Facebook, the back end, can be very frustrating and complicated. So basically I just share my screen and I'm like, click this to find your Pixel, click this to install it, and like these are the ways that you create your ads. So I walk them through it. And the very first step is installing your Pixel. And for people who aren't familiar with it, it's basically a little piece of code that you install on your website, and that helps Facebook keep track of people who have visited your website. And then Facebook accumulates that data, and you can use the Pixel to actually project your ad to those specific people, or Facebook allows you to create a custom audience filled with people who are similar to those who visited your website. So it's a little trippy. It reminds me of like Big Brother, where you, oh my gosh, how do they know these things? And like, it's kind of creepy, but it's brilliant for ads retargeting because Facebook is so familiar with people. They know exactly like things they don't like, who they follow, what they comment on. So they can create those custom audiences for you. And when you are using the Pixel and creating custom audiences, it makes your ads much more effective. And then the ROI is that much better when your ads are effective.
So Ads Manager, going in to create a custom audience, creating lookalike, creating a custom audience through the Pixel that you've placed on your site so they can kind of follow those people around when they're back on Facebook with ads, a lookalike audience so that they can find people that are like the people that go through your website and target those people with an ad. And this is all in the top little hamburger of Ads Manager, all the audience creation and stuff, right? And then what you taught me the other day is that if you build that email list that we were just talking about, you can upload a CSV file of that email list of people, and Facebook will follow them with ads too. So that's all retargeting, it's called, right?
Yes, exactly.
So I'll explain things plainly, but the fact that you show your screen on your course and go through this stuff is exactly what people need. Good job.
Yeah. It's so helpful because I feel like following along with a worksheet, it gets like mentally exhausting, but just being able to like open your own like Ads Manager page and then minimize my video and like click along with me is super helpful.
Yeah, totally. I have split screen. Okay. So fantastic. Again, discount, get it. I will go through it. So there's another part of, so custom audiences, that is pretty advanced and stuff. And installing the Pixel, you probably need a developer unless you're on WordPress and can grab a plugin that might do that. Is that probably one place you might need help? Or?
So I guess it depends on like what kind of website setup you have, like who's hosting it. But I actually looked into like the inside of Weebly websites as well as Chi sites. I know a lot of acupuncturists have Chi sites and a couple other really popular ones. And most of them have a framework where, and I show this, I think I go through 4 different kinds of websites in the course. You can look for like SEO, or there are little catchwords where it's just an empty box and you just copy and paste the code in there. So you don't ever have to go into the code of the website, because I never recommend that. Like I've been running my WordPress website for 4 years and I still won't touch the code because I've broken it and then had to call a developer and be like, me. But for the most part, like Weebly, Chi sites, Wix, they have really simple just copy and paste, and they'll even say like you can put your Facebook pixel, or if you have a Google tracking code for your analytics, you just pop it in.
Yeah,
so
perfect.
it doesn't have to be that tricky.
It doesn't have to be that complicated. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I know. If you need it in the theme or something, that's complicated. You've got a site that requires that. But okay, good. You cover that. So don't let all this intimidate you. It's just stuff you got to learn, right? And
Yeah.
go through and be guided with, which is what you can help with. And these custom audiences are ways to really hone in. But for people who have dabbled, they probably know more about just the basic ads manager, ad creator, whatever it's called. And you get into, creating your audience in there. So can you talk about the importance of, or, say I've got a clinic in Austin, Texas, or wherever. What do I got to do to not be advertising to people in Mumbai? And,
That's a good okay. So one of the things Facebook will let you do is, let's say that you created a custom audience based on your pixel, which is really just a couple clicks in the audience portion of Ad Manager. Facebook will also let you have a geographic region if you want. So you can narrow it in based on your location for sure. You can select for other interests, like you could add, whatever you wanted, but I generally recommend, like, if you're using your pixel or creating a custom audience based on your email list, then you don't need to mess around with specific interests. Just narrowing in the geography is all you need in addition to a custom audience.
Okay, so my guess, though, is that a lot of people wouldn't be rolling in with a custom audience because they're going to get that message that says you don't have enough people to create a custom audience or whatever, you need. So what needs to happen first, maybe a new practitioner, they just need to focus on demographics and interests, or geographics and interests. So the city and interests, they don't have a list. They maybe their website doesn't have many visitors yet, and they're like, I'm going to use Facebook ads to just start driving traffic, and so that would be where more interests are important.
Right. Yeah. Then they would really need to narrow their audience and choose different interests, kind of based on, whoever their target market is, or their ideal patient. Right. I don't have a ton of experience selecting for those interests because I think they are really tricky. So usually to get it right so that Facebook doesn't give you a super weird audience. Right. I've done it before where people way out of my usual demographic are making strange comments on my ads because I tried to select for those interests. So that's not my expertise. Some people are really good at it. Usually what I recommend is install your pixel and then be willing to give it a week or two, or, if traffic to your website is really slow, maybe it needs more time, but I believe you need at least 1,000 hits on your website once your pixel is installed in order for Facebook to create, to collect that information and make it an accurate custom audience.
Oh, so it's 1,000 visits. Okay. Right.
I think so. I feel like last time I looked.
They change things a lot too, right? So, yeah. That's so. Michelle will update her Facebook course every year.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
No choice for that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
My recommendation for people who are brand new and they feel like no one's going to their website and they're getting frustrated is to start a blog on their website and then share every new post that they write on their social media. Right. So that brings people right to your website, and then Facebook will start tracking it just helps bump up your traffic instead of just waiting for people to land on it through an organic search.
For some people, they may have focused almost on social more. I know you millennials, younger folk might be in that realm. You can also create a custom and lookalike audiences through visitors to your page, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So that might be another avenue to take.
Yes, if you feel like you don't have enough hits for your pixel. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. If you're already feeling really overwhelmed and confused, I get it. All these new words, but that's why Michelle's, I'm not even here to overly promote you. It's a tough thing, until you know it, and so I appreciate that you've done
I would say the whole reason that I created the course was because I knew some acupuncturists who just had this great potential to create ads. They had these really good ideas, but Ads Manager was so frustrating to them that they were like, I'm not even going to do it. And so that's why I did this step by step, because I understand that the jargon and the vocab sounds maybe confusing and overwhelming right now, but I promise when I'm walking you through it, I keep it as super simple as possible, because that's just what's necessary with Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And it helps a ton. So it's really not a headache when you're just like looking through it.
Yeah. And they've got a great little app that you can set up to Bing every time you're getting like clicks. And so, yeah, Facebook ad app. Yeah, it's great. But so what would people do? So how can, I know we wanted to talk about how people that are already doing it can maybe optimize things, but what's the difference if people are wanting and website clicks, or because right at the start you kind of got to make some decisions, and that's sometimes where it's like, oh shit, what do I do here? Do I want traffic or conversions, or how can you walk through that little first part a bit?
Yeah, so really the big options for most acupuncturists who are creating ads are either website clicks or conversion, right? The opt-in that you mentioned. So if you are trying to get people to sign up for your email list, then you would probably want to go with opt-ins. So Facebook would track who's actually, like how many people are actually giving you their email. And then if you're trying to direct people right to your online schedule, I usually recommend website clicks. The thing is though, so let's say if you're the kind of person who's done a couple rounds of Facebook ads and like it seems to be working, but you thought you would get better results, I recommend changing your objective from opt-ins or conversions to website clicks, because website clicks is sometimes a better way. Like Facebook learns faster what your audience is interested in and who to show your ad to based on the based on the website clicks option. It tends to be a little bit cheaper as well.
Okay. Yeah, right. Yeah, conversions, seems like you don't, from my experience or what I've been told, you don't quite seem to get as much intel back as quick if you're looking for the big home, or if your goal is the big home run, you know, like a sale or a booking or whatever. And tracking that's a little bit more difficult. You've got to set up a conversion. What's that called?
Conversion pixel, yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's an extra little tag added onto your pixel.
Okay. Yeah. So so people that have ads, what do you commonly foresee people doing, or in your experience, people telling you what they're doing, and how can they, because you can go in and tweak along the way, right? If you've just got $10 a day or something running, you can watch for a week and go in and like make some changes or duplicate it and try different things. So what ways can people improve, or do you see, where people should be improving?
Yeah. I would say like the easiest thing that at least it comes up pretty often is the amount of text on people's images. So Facebook really doesn't want you to have more than 20% of your ad image covered in text.
Right.
But it will still show your ad, even if you're getting close to that. It just reduces the number of people who see it, and it makes it a little bit more expensive. So it's kind of sneaky of them. Like they won't, right? Like they won't tell you like, okay, it's officially too much text, we're just not going to let you show it. They'll just reduce the delivery of your ad is what it's called. Right. So I usually say, if you want better delivery on your ads that you already have going, make the text smaller or just reduce the amount of stuff you're trying to say on your ad image. Right. Because generally less text means better ad delivery and slightly lower cost.
Right. And you can, if you choose a carousel, you can actually go in and say you put up 4 pictures. After a week, you can go and see which one's performing better, and then kind of deduce why, or maybe axe the other ones or do ones more similar to that, right? Like okay. So that's another way to optimize. What should maybe people be thinking about? Like I would for sure give some advice and not to use like needles in the image. That's just the given these days, right? So what do you think, should it be portraying the like goal of like happy, pain-free people, or?
Yeah, I think whenever you're selecting an image for an ad, and not just on Facebook, but like anywhere that you need an image for an ad, definitely include one that has a picture of the person who looks like your target audience.
Right.
And personally, I like to go with like they're happy, right?
Yeah.
Showing them kind of like the end goal. That's just my preference. I know some people, they still have luck with like oh, I'm in pain. Like it's my target audience. It's, if like I'm looking for women in mid 30s who have pain from like overdoing it in like weekend athletics.
Right.
But I like to pick the images where they're looking cheerful, like they've already recovered. Regardless, you have to have a person's face in the ad image. There's actually sociological research that shows that just as humans, we're social animals. We are drawn to look at faces, like no matter what it is. Yep. Okay. And we're always like, we look in the sky and we're like, oh, I see a face in the clouds, or like, it's Jesus on my piece of toast, like identify faces. Yeah. So I think that just gets a lot more eyes on your ad if you have a face in the image. Right. I think that's the most important thing.
Okay. And, in the healthcare field, are they pretty picky about, like, you can't jump in and say, I'm going to cure your cancer.
Oh, yeah.
in 5 steps. So they're pretty picky on the medical field, right?
Yes. Facebook has like a laundry list of ways that you're not allowed to phrase things in Facebook ads because they just don't want you to be like calling out individuals. So the one that's most relevant for acupuncturists, at least that I've, stumbled across with people that I'm talking to, is you can't say things like, do you have back pain? Because that's calling them out, right? But you can say things like acupuncture helps back pain, right. Or you talk about like different symptoms that someone might have for digestive issues and then say that, acupuncture is going to help them, right? And I'm sure that they also have rules for things like I can fix you or I can heal you. And in my online course, I link right to Facebook's list of things you can and can't say. Okay. And, again, that's one of those things I feel like it feels overwhelming. Like, God, Facebook has so many rules, right. But that's why I just direct people right to the link, right to the section that applies most to acupuncturists. Right. The other thing you can't do is you can't call people out by name, okay. Which I don't think is something that most people would be worrying about. Like, hey,
Michelle, or what do you mean?
Yeah. Like, okay. I read this fascinating article where people have, like, surveyed their email list, and they'll be like, wow, like, my list is 70% females, and actually 30% of those females are named Anne or something. And so they'll create ads that are like, hey, Anne, do you have back pain? And so Facebook will not let you do that either.
Okay. So with is there any... To me, I'm guessing that it's hard to tell, because everyone's different. But, like you said with the images, use a face, people respond to that. And, some people have success with the pain look in their that success look. Same with within the guidelines of what you can say with the text, you can play with, how you're delivering, like, here's a solution for you, or just with your wording, you've kind of got to play with that and look for feedback. Okay.
Yeah, and I do think with any marketing and with Facebook ads especially, you have to be willing to experiment a little bit, because I listen to a lot of the Facebook ads gurus out there as well, because they're like, obviously, they're so above and beyond the level that I'm at, managing ads for like hundreds of companies and stuff like that. But I forgot where I was going actually.
Well, just
about the Facebook gurus.
Well, they're great to listen to some too, but often they're speaking in such that's why I think your course is probably really great for a lot of the listeners here and in our acupuncture world, because it's more intro to intermediate, because right. you can, I think you got to get super savvy, when you get into marketing for digital, and when that's a huge part, Facebook ads. I don't know anyone whose Facebook or budgeting market for their clinic would be all Facebook ads, maybe some, I'm not sure, but it's going to be a piece. So it's hard to want to put the time in to become an expert. So something like your course is all people should need, I expect. Is that right? to get
Yeah,
themselves going?
they could get more advanced. And it came back to me where I was going with that, with the
Okay.
Facebook gurus. Thank
Okay.
goodness.
Yeah. It's
Just that
okay.
they're always talking about being willing to experiment with your Facebook ads and insisting that you kind of have to give them a little time and be open-minded about tinkering with the ads. So
Right.
like if you do an ad and it doesn't get the results that you wanted, that doesn't mean abandon Facebook ads. That just means keep course correcting and tinkering a little bit until you arrive at something where it feels like it's a good ROI, right? And I believe in that really strongly for all kinds of marketing. So I think, unfortunately, with a lot of wellness providers, we're reluctant to market to begin with.
Right.
And then we'll try something and feel like it didn't work like we thought it would for whatever reason that maybe we can't even identify. And then we'll just be like, marketing doesn't work.
Right.
Write this huge blanket statement. So I always encourage people to, be open-minded and think about all of marketing as experimentation.
Right.
And there's not like failure, right? It's just learning and course correcting because you're always going to get better.
Yeah.
And that's certainly true for Facebook ads too.
Okay. So one caveat to experimenting that I would impart on people is to consider always trying to focus on the outcome that the person looking at the ad is looking for. You know, like not highlighting acupuncture, being, I'm an acupuncturist. Acupuncture is great. Acupuncture, come see me. It's like, focus on the wording. It's so people, when they take a quick glance at it, they see that you're offering a solution to their problem.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I totally agree with that.
Okay. That's great.
Their perspective and why they should care about what you're offering. Because a lot of people hear acupuncture and they're like, well, that's great, but I'm not really sure what that's for or if it applies to me. Right. So you want to make your ad apply to them immediately.
Yeah. Okay. And that somewhat is, what do you think about the congruency between the look of the Facebook ad and wording and how your opt-in page or your website looks like? They should kind of know once they click in that it's like the same place. Should there be a similar feel?
Absolutely, yeah. So many good questions. Like I feel like I'm excited to answer before you're even done.
Okay, good. That's great.
So for some reason online, they call this maintaining the scent, which I think is the weirdest phrase ever. But basically the look of your ad and the branding should be maintained on the landing page. Okay, so if you have like green and yellow in your ad and then you direct them to a landing page that's like purple and like zigzag stripes or whatever, and it's actually very, very jarring mentally for people, and they trust it a lot less. They're like, this doesn't look like the place that I clicked from. Spam. I don't want to give them my email address because it feels spammy. So that's actually very important.
Okay, great. So you so we've gone through what makes images and text important, and it being opt-ins and all the custom audiences and stuff. What should people look at the cost and they're like, even if I do just $10 a day, that's $300 a month. So is there kind of a threshold or somewhere where when people are experimenting and starting off, they should start with and then creep up with ads that are performing, or do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of based on the person and their budget to begin with, but I would say that at least I prefer to do Facebook ads for like a particular reason and not like just ongoing. Okay. I think of, the Google ads, AdWords, I think of those as more like ongoing, kind of never ending advertisement for your website. Right. Whereas Facebook ads, like if I am having a sale or a special event, or I created a new worksheet and I want to share it with people, but I want them to opt in. Those are the reasons that I might create an ad. Okay. And I think it's important to run an ad for at least 3 or 4 days, if not like a week or two, because again, Facebook is learning. And I think sometimes people will release an ad and then be like, in a day, like panic because they're like, oh, I'm not getting the activity that I thought I would.
Yeah.
And it's actually not super unusual. Facebook is still learning what your audience wants to see and deciding who to show the ad to. So I usually tell people just sit tight and give it 3 or 4 days. Like,
okay.
Hopefully they can afford like the $30 or $40, and then, then they can tweak and go back to it if they want to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's great. I mean, so you can spend whatever you want, however much or little you want.
Yeah.
I guess so that's interesting. So more for promos, and then put a little bit more money into it and see how that is. So if someone's like going through this and they're like, okay, this is a lot, they go through your course, that's great. Or if someone maybe just, do you offer do you do one-on-one time, or do you help people somehow with Facebook ads beyond your course, or?
Yeah, I'm always open to people emailing me. I don't do like a lot of like Skype one-on-ones, but maybe it's because throughout the course, I'm always like, email me. Okay. And then I like flash my email up on the screen. So maybe that's why people we have the conversations over text as opposed to one-on-one. But I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Yeah. I find it really fascinating to hear like the different inventive ways that people are successfully using Facebook ads for their practices. And I like the brainstorming. That's what I'm telling people in general. Just email me and we'll talk about your marketing.
Yeah.
Who wants to talk about it?
Well, we'll get you on, yearly to talk about whatever ad platform, if it's Facebook or what. I'm sure Facebook isn't going anywhere. Instagram's on the rise, all kinds of, but just to kind of rehash, because I know, they're kind of like Google, at least they seem to be growing with some integrity, and it's getting tougher and tougher for businesses to get newsfeed time, right? Yeah. And that's what Facebook was built for, people to connect. It wasn't, a business platform, although I'm sure Facebook is loving the ad dollars.
Oh, yeah.
That are coming in like, holy, I can't imagine. They make it so easy. It seems complicated, but actually it's really easy just to get one going and give them money. Might not be good, but
it's in Facebook's best interest for people to be successful using their ads, because then you're just going to keep doing it. Yeah. And they keep making money. Yeah. So ultimately, they want people to be successful with ad creation.
I think that is a great something for people to hear, is it's not you against them. They really want to your ads to be successful, because you'll keep dumping money into them, and it costs them nothing, except for rebuilding their algorithms and trying to learn more and more and more, right? Yeah. Which is awesome. So it's, what are ways that people can really measure? That's my difficulty, and we've got a few ways that we can measure, but people can measure how it's affecting, the opt-ins and views and stuff. I get that, but conversions, as Facebook ads equaling a patient, is it referral check boxes or?
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, I kind of think about Facebook ads as like starting from the result that you want to get and working backwards, and creating an ad that is going to bring people to that result. So it sort of depends on the outcome that people are, or if they are creating an ad that brings in new patients, like gets them on the schedule, and a new patient visit is, $85, then they have to think about like, well, how much am I willing to pay per click or per opt-in, in order for it to feel worth it to me. And, I haven't checked in on like the average in a little while, but I feel like somewhere in the range of like $2 to $3 per click is, at least it's typically what I'm aiming for. I'm sure it varies based on location and how many other people are advertising something similar in your geographical area. But I feel like $2.50, $2.60 per click is pretty good.
Pretty average. Okay.
Yeah. Like when my clicks get up to like $5 a click, then I'm like, I really feel like my ROI is not going to be that good, and I need to reassess.
Right. Well, I mean, even big picture, for us, we'd have to it's in our intake forms. It's in speaking with patients, and the admin kind of takes care of that at the clinics. It's like, well, how did you come in? It's like, click the internet box, but it's like, okay, let's drill down a bit. it's not enough. But I mean, realistically, you want to think with any marketing, in my opinion, you want to think of ROI, or return on investment. So say you spend $1,000 in a month on Facebook ads, just trying to pump traffic to your site. Maybe you've got great landing pages for your conditions you commonly see, and it sends them to contact us really quickly. And realistically, if you're seeing something like we do, which is primarily reproductive health concerns, if we got one patient out of that pays for that.
Wow.
There's very few people.
The lifetime of the patient.
You got to think of the average lifetime value of one patient, and let's just shoot in the dark. For a lot of people, that might be around $1,000. So if you get one out of that, it's paid for itself. It's obviously not. it's not returning on your investment, but it's at least paying for it. But $1,000 of ads on Facebook would drive you a lot of traffic, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I usually recommend people try to start out at like $10 or $12 a day.
Right.
I have read that, like, if you pour a lot of money into just one ad, like $20 or $30 a day, can sometimes like confuse the Facebook algorithm if you have like a small audience, right? Like if it doesn't have a lot of hits on your pixel to work with, or you didn't have a lot of emails to add up. But I could see, like, if someone was doing multiple ads and directing them towards like different kinds of landing pages, then you could be doing like $10 on each ad.
Right. So $10 for an ad for a month, $300. Like that's just for people to get perspective, and try that, because that's $300. If you got to spend that on something in your marketing dollars. So I mean, if you want to try Facebook ads, go to Michelle's course, like budget, learn, because that'll save you a lot of money first. Spend that money, and then experiment for a few months with $300 and see how it goes, and learn from that. And that's how I would move forward probably with it. Does that sound like a kind of a plan? I'm trying to boil things down here for people. Yeah,
absolutely. And my marketing mentor from back in the day always said that you should really, any kind of advertising, you should try to do for 3 months in a row to give it time to leverage and really stick. So kind of think about, I usually recommend people think about, what would 3 months of this kind of advertising cost you, and can you budget for that? Does it feel reasonable? That sort of thing.
I mean, as our companies mature, I get to rest more, I feel, because I think part of maturing is getting marketing schedules in place. And I know you touch on that stuff in your other course. And so you're not always chasing the next shiny object, and Facebook ads can be some of that, but look at it as getting in there and experimenting with how it's going to work, because there's going to be many moving pieces to your marketing plan, or there doesn't have to be, but there definitely can be in this day and age. And you'll pull from different, and social and online definitely is a place that everyone should be at least optimizing their website, or using social ads, or whatever it is. But, jump in and spend that 3 months to find what's kind of going to be working for you, and set that in motion, and keep kind of moving forward. And don't always be, I don't know, I think it's so addictive to always be watching, but it's nice after a while to be able to sit back and let a year go by of marketing plan, and then reassess. It's just less hectic, right?
Yeah. And I do think that is the purpose, right? So that you can focus on other things ultimately, like it just becomes automatic, the marketing, and then you can think more about your patients and that sort of thing.
Yeah, freedom. Somehow, right? Mental freedom. Yeah. Awesome. Well, this has been great. I don't know, is there any closing words, or do you, I mean, obviously your course is, again, go right down here, click on the opt-in there, get the 5-step quick reference that Michelle kindly made for everybody, and within it, it's got the special discount code for her course. So grab that too, hike on over to Michelle's site and jump into her course today. I'm sure, how fast do you think someone can get through that course and start getting things going? Pretty much right away, or?
Yeah, you know what? I can't remember. It's a couple of hours.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
So it like basically like hit the ground running. So, I mean, it's not like you got to go through, a semester of training. This is just like get you going kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
so super practical, super worth it, super actionable. And, thanks so much
Yeah, thank
for
you.
being here. We'll, if there's any big changes, you come on again and we'll to Facebook ads and we'll, let everyone know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to.
Awesome. Thanks again so much for coming. And we'll, you're going to be regular here, so everyone get used to seeing this pretty face. And we'll talk to you again soon. Michelle, thanks again.
Thank you.